Good evening and welcome to the John Smith Stadium in Huddersfield for the Clarets match live from here, walking you all the current Premier League games as soon as we go in, but our main focus is full match commentary on tonight's big match between Huddersfield and Burnley. Two teams in the bottom three. Burnley with a win on Sunday which took them within goal difference of Southampton, who play against Chelsea, and we'll keep you up to date more often than not with events at Stamford Bridge and Manchester United and Newcastle with its events here that we're concerned about. Huddersfield going into the game with just 10 points to their credit, lost against Fulham on Saturday, and this is how they line up tonight. This is the team news then. Burnley in fact on change, we'll come to them in a second. So it's Jonas Losso who plays in goal. They're going to play a back four tonight with Florin, Haddanash, Zanka, Chris Schindler and Terence Congolo at the back, and they're going to play two holding midfielders. That's Jonathan Hogg and Philip Billing, and then three further attacking forwards, midfielders in Elias Kachunga, Alex Pritchard formerly of Spurs and Norwich, and Isaac Mbenza, and Steve Mounier gets the nod ahead of De Potter up front. So they're going to play 4-4-2 on the bench. Hamer, Bakuna, Derkabi, Lovra, De Potter, Stankovic and Derm. And David Wagner is their manager. Burnley unchanged from Sunday with Tom Heaton, the captain, in goal. Back four of Phil Bardsley, who played ever so well. James Tarkowski, Ben Mee and Charlie Taylor. In fact, the whole back four on Sunday played exceptionally well. Four in the midfield with Johan Berg Gudmundsson, Ashley Westwood, Jack Cork and Dwight McNeil, who was man of the match on Sunday. Up front, Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood up front. On the bench for the Clarets tonight, we've got Joe Hart, the goalkeeper, Matt Lowton, Sam Vokes, Robbie Brady, Jeff Enrick, Mattia Vidra and Kevin Long. The referee tonight is from the Ribble, that is Mike Dean. And of course we'll try and read your comments out as well this evening as the game goes on. Well, it's the start of a feast of football which is going to be stretching over the next 6 days. Premier League and FA Cup dominating. We'll have, hopefully, we're hoping to bring you 3 live FA Cup ties on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and we'll bring you hopefully the one on Friday night between involving Spurs, of course. Dwight McNeil, there he is. Burnley, for the record, are playing in an all-dark strip tonight, so that could be an interesting play. And Ashley Westwood as well, who played exceptionally well, even though he came through his close to Pippin McNeil for man of the match. So it's all to play for here. Bottom of the table, we're seeing Stand Huddersfield. They're going to get us underway in the striped shirts, and of course we'll keep you abreast with what's happening around the country, so much so it's events at Stamford Bridge as Burnley's rival Southampton are away at Chelsea. So any goals that go in, we will keep you abreast about. So, well, Happy New Year to everyone as the first live commentary, full live commentary of 2019 is about to get underway. Mike Dean of the Wirral is the referee, and we're all ready to go. And this really will be a tough test for Burnley and for Huddersfield. And away we go then. Huddersfield rather, attacking the goal to our left, where all the Burnley supporters are. And every other game is underway, so we'll keep you up to date with events at the Vitality, Stamford Bridge, the London Stadium, Molineux, and at 8 o'clock Newcastle and Manchester United kick off. That's an 8 o'clock start, so but we'll keep you abreast along all the games, and we'll be with you until about 9:30 tonight, so we won't have time to get interviews and the like in. Early throw to Burnley, who are in the all dark strip tonight, and it's going to be a cracking atmosphere. It's going to be a cracking game. David Wagner, well, he's a man under pressure, so was Sean Dyche, but the way Burnley played on Sunday, it was like the Burnley of old, getting in front of the faces of the West Ham players Burnley have conceded a 3-kick to the bemusement of manager Sean Dyche. And well, this is going to be a real tough test of who will come out on top here tonight. Paul Merson on Sky Sports Predictions reckons Huddersfield will nick a 1-0 win. I'm more confident about Burnley's chances now, having seen them play now in the last couple of games. I like to think that the old Burnley, the old dogged Burnley, is back, and hopefully we'll see just that in the way that they play over the next 90 minutes or more. Still a full house, even on a cold Wednesday night here. Still a little bit mild for this time of year, but still a good crowd. And it's Bermal Webbers all the way as the header comes through towards Goodmanson, but Lozell, the goalkeeper, takes possession. He's Danish goalkeeper. As Huddersfield come forward now with Hagonash, gets the ball forward, and the ball hit forward. I'll come to that one on Pulisic when we get a break in play, because Burnley have possession. In fact, they've won a 3-kick for a foul on Ashley Barnes by Philip Billing. What do you make of Christian Pulisic's £58 million deal to Chelsea? Well, it's a good signing. I think I'm glad he's gone back to Dortmund to try and finish what they're starting there this season. They're top of the Bundesliga, as I believe, and I think he's a quality player, American international, very good player at the moment. I think it'll be interesting to see how he performs next season, ADM 23. I will admit that. And if you want to comment on any potential transfers for any of the clubs, be sure to drop us a line as the free kick comes in from Heaton, flick on by Barnes, and just goes narrowly wide of the target. A fantastic start from the Burnley there. Free kick which was flicked on by Wood, and Barnes got a little right foot on that. There's the 3-kick. Wood winning the header, and Barnes, it just needed a little bit more conviction, that final touch. He did get something on it, but not positive, not strong enough of a touch. Just a slight flick, and he just flicked it wide of the right-hand post of Jonas Rossell as Barnsley gets the ball back to Tom Heaton. Heaton with the right foot clears away. Burnley starting well on the front foot. Here's Ben Mee now with the burden of the captaincy firmly off his shoulders now. He's playing with a bit more freedom than what he was a few weeks ago. He certainly looked back to the Ben Mee of old the other day, getting in faces, blocking shots, being stronger in the marking department the other day as well. It's good to see. Same would apply to Tchaikovsky. I think it's the familiarity of having the club captain back as Heaton brings the ball away. And again, Matt Phillips, well, it's the first I've heard. We've also been linked with a move for Tammy Abraham, and there was rumours of Dominic Solanke, although he's pulled out of a deal with Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson obviously doesn't fancy him as the ball is hooked up towards Wood, who's gone down the right hand channel here for Burnley. In the dark shirts, remember, taking the goal to our right, and he gets a throw in off Schindler, and Schindler concedes the throw. 4.5 minutes almost gone here at the John Smith Stadium, or the Kirklees Stadium, if you want to give it its proper title. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 0. It's Phil Barsley to take for Burnley to Goodmanson down the byline, back to the right hand side, and Barsley whips a good cross in there. Might drop to Dwight McNeil on the far side, and it does. McNeil showing no mercy again. He's certainly a man for all seasons the way he's been playing at the moment, Dwight McNeil. He's a man that doesn't play without fear, as Tarkowski just hooks the ball back to the relative safety of Tom Heaton. We've been playing 5 minutes and Burnley have had the best chance in the game so far. It came to Ashley Barnes a couple of minutes ago from a Tom Heaton 3-kick nonetheless, and Heaton now 20-35 yards out of his goal hits the ball long towards the edge of the Huddersfield area, and it was again a flick on by Wood. Just couldn't find Barnes, and it came to Lobzal in the end and kicks further forward, and now it's going to be Tom Heaton's ball, and he kicks away right footed, a real up and under towards halfway. Billing to win the next ball, but Goodmanson there too. Westwood hooking that forward, looking towards Chris Wood, the former Leeds man. And so far it's been a real interesting start to the game so far. And Benza had it, now Schindler. 0-0 here. James McCarthy is an interest of West Ham at the moment. They do have injury problems, certainly in the central midfield. Although I thought I think Rice is a good prospect, and of course Mark Noble, Mr. West Ham, made his 450th appearance. Could be in line to make his 451st tonight. But let's just see what's been happening elsewhere. I don't think there's been any changes in the scores, but if there's any changes in the scores, as Billing goes for a shot with his right foot that goes narrowly wide of the target, and behind for a goal kick. And it was laid in by Alex Pritchard. Went for the shot, well wide in the end. So just to let you know, there's no scores in any of the other games. Bournemouth, Watford, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if the game's been delayed or anything like that. Well, we certainly haven't had any news from that one yet, but what I can tell you is that that it's 0-0 everywhere else. As I can just hear in the background that Lancashire Home sang by the Claret supporters away to my left hand side, and there goes the ball forward towards Chris Wood again. Gudmundsson was also on the scene as well. So 0-0 at Chelsea, 0-0 here, 0-0 at West Ham, and 0-0 at Wolves, and of course nothing between Newcastle United. They've yet to kick off. So it's 0-0 here in this 8th minute of the game now. We're just coming up to 8 minutes in the first half, and as I say, any other scores as they go in, we'll let you know elsewhere. But it's 0-0 in all the 7:45 kickoffs. Bournemouth, I don't know what's happened with the Bournemouth match. If someone can let me know what's gone on with that one, because they haven't kicked off yet. Has there been a delay at the Vitality? Has the game been called off? We haven't had any goal news from there, or any live scores from Bournemouth. So if you let me know what's been going on here. I've been too busy prepping up for this game, so if anyone can keep me abreast of what's happening at Bournemouth, that would be fantastic. 0-0 here between Huddersfield and Burnley in this big relegation 6-pointer, and it's big for so many reasons. I suppose it's so tense out there. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. I'm being told there's a fire emergency. There's been a fire drill or some sort of fire emergency at the Vitality, so they've been postponed to 8 o'clock as the effort from Mounier inside the penalty area, and an attempted overhead goes well wide of the target, and a goal kick to Burnley as we come up towards 9 minutes gone. Mike Dean, the referee. Big game. Huddersfield sit about 5 points away from safety, sit bottom 5 points away from safety. Burnley are 5 points ahead of Huddersfield in the table, level on points with Southampton, but if they can get a better result than Southampton, they'll climb out the bottom three. It was also good news for the Clarets last night with wins, with defeats for the other relegation rivals. Fulham were beaten very soundly by Arsenal, and Cardiff were tonked 3-0 by Tottenham. It could have been 5 or 6. So good news. And our relegation rebels didn't pick up any significant results or points, so it's all in Burnley's hands tonight. If they can get 3 points, they could move above Cardiff and possibly move back towards Cardiff, who thought they were pulling away at one point with a good result against Leicester City, although they were very lucky in my opinion to get that result. 10 minutes gone. Huddersfield have a throw incidentally on the near side, halfway inside their own half, headed back by Bardsley, headed on by Wood. Barnes to win the next ball, looking to find Dwight McNeil, but the ball was knocked away by Jorgensen. Now here's a chance now for Mbenza, and he hits the ball over to the far side, and he finds Alex Pritchard on the Huddersfield right. Pritchard cuts inside and intercepted by Taylor. Taylor getting in there very strongly, and Burnley again looking to their old selves a little bit now, dare I say it. Sean Dyche pointing the way here for the Burnley defence, but here goes Mounier now, 25 yards from goal, hits his shot and hits it straight into the arms of the goalkeeper Tom Heaton, who it was a very tame shot, so it gave Tom Heaton more than ample time just to just take a couple of strides across and just sweep up the ball. As we see the shot there, I've just seen the shot there on the replay, left hand looking to find the right hand corner with his left foot, but as I said, it was very tame, the effort, and easy for the keepers. Wood goes on the chase, but Jorgensen is there first for Huddersfield. The ball hooked away, 11 gone in minutes at the John Smith, still no scoring. When's Nick Pope back? He's actually back training and back in fitness. He's not diet strict yet, but at the moment I'm quite happy with Tom in goals at the moment. I think it's a familiarity there, and that's no disrespect to Joe Hart, of course, but they've conceded over 40 goals and they don't really want to be conceding any more at this point in time. It's all about results and digging it out. At the moment, Burnley are happy now to do a little bit of defending for the time being. Barnsley heading out a long ball by Billing. Huddersfield get a throw in line with the Burnley penalty area, and this really is going to be a tough old period of play, I think, for the Clarets. 12 minutes gone, no score. Now Philip Billing has got a very good long throw. I've watched a few of the Huddersfield games, and he possesses a very dangerous weapon here for Huddersfield Town. He goes long into the penalty area. Real test for the two centre backs, Tarkowski and Min. Tarkowski was up to that test, but Huddersfield win the second ball. The ball played back and then it's given away, and now Wood can break and so too can Barnes. Nobody further forward, only Goodmanson further forward, and the ball just didn't have enough purchase on it, and it's back to the goalkeeper at the other end, Rosell. Yes, Kevin, we're up against Barnsley. Burnley's next game is a cup tie against Barnsley, and there'll be a piece of Turf Moor history on Saturday, because it'll be the first game ever staged at Turf Moor to include the video technology, VAR, and I can tell you that the video referee for that game is Lee Mason. A little bit of insider's knowledge, and of course this is the first of many live games which Russ and Chris will be back for, hopefully this weekend, because we got a massive load of several decent cup ties for you on over the weekend, and hopefully one of those will be at Turf Moor with Burnley face off Barnsley. Russ will have a 3 o'clock kick-off as well. We haven't decided what 3 o'clock game is going to follow. Meanwhile, Burnley have a player in the referee's notebook. It's Ben Mee. So Burnley have got one player into the book at the moment. This is the foul on Mooney. Well, he's half-heartedly pushed him. I'm not sure that's a yellow card. It's a half-hearted push, and Mooney makes a little bit of a meal of it, and I think he's got the player booked there for me. I think that's a very soft booking there from Mr. Mike Dean, who's not the best of referees if reputation goes before him. Oh, that's a dangerous ball, and Ben's playing that ball in. Burnley got a bit of defending to do, and Taylor won that very cleanly, and in fact a foul was committed against Huddersfield for a foul on Charlie Taylor. It did look a foul as that ball was in. He cleanly won the header, and Huddersfield were a bit rough and ready there with the challengers. And it was Mounier there. Well, that's actually quite a worse challenge than the one that Ben Mee got booked for. And you can understand my annoyance with referees when they're so inconsistent. I mean, you got a good referee like Mr. Coote the other day, who I thought had a magnificent game on Sunday. I thought referee Coote had a fantastic match. And you've got a referee like Mike Dean, who's been around the top scene for years and years and years, and still referees with no real thought process, and just decides to. And how many bad decisions have Burnley had against them when Mike Dean's been the referee? There's a few that spring to mind. A certain one 9 years ago springs to mind against Blackburn Rovers. He's given a throw against Burnley here. Quarter of an hour gone. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 0. And if you do miss it, and you do have access to my Facebook page, don't forget I will be putting up a video on the JB Claret YouTube channel Facebook page of commentary highlights from tonight's match. So if you don't want to listen back to the whole game, you can then listen to it on that website, on that web page. So just to let you know, it's www.facebook.com/JB Claret, and if you want to like the page, go over there now, type in type in on Facebook JB Claret YouTube channel, you'll find it, but it's all the W's. It's www.facebook.com/JB Claret, and that's the address you need if you want to follow the channel on the Facebook platform. We're going to be putting audio highlight clips on there for all you guys to enjoy, so please if you can, like that Facebook page. We're also on Instagram, and we're also on here as well. 0-0 at the moment between Huddersfield and Burnley in a big relegation 6-pointer. Huddersfield bottom, Burnley 18th, staying in the relegation zone by virtue of the fact that Southampton at the moment, who are playing Chelsea, have a better goal difference than us at the moment, but one moment could change all that now. Burnley have got a really big chance here tonight, but there's a chance for Benter, puts the cross in, hits the defender Goodmanson. It's gone for a corner, and Gongolo in fact was the man who crossed it. It's a real worry here for Burnley, because David Wagner's team is really getting a real up ahead of steam here at the moment. 0-0 live on the JB Claret YouTube channel, coming to you from West Yorkshire, Huddersfield, the home of last of the summer wine and all that lot. And as the corner will be floated in from the far side, Alex Pritchard, the ex-Spurs player, to bring it in, the flick on and headed away. In fact, the commentary box angle, they got the TV angle from the commentary box, is not the best in the world. And it's hard to tell whether that was going goal bound or going away for a throw-in. In fact, thankfully for Burnley, it went away for a Huddersfield throw-in. But it's Philip Billing. I say thankfully, but there again, you've got Philip Billing taking the throw-ins, and he takes one almost in line with the penalty area, into the penalty area, and the ball's scrambled, and somehow it stayed out, and it's, well, I thought it came off Pritchard. I felt that came off Pritchard. That should be a goal kick to Burnley. I think Mike Dean is making the point. I think it's a goal kick. There was a bit of rough and tumble in there, but it was a good throw, and it caused one or two troubles there for the Claret's defence. Mooney in there, good blocking in fact by Ben Mee, and I think there was a bit of pushing and shoving going on there. There might have been a foul on a Burnley player in the build-up, maybe a shirt pull on Ben Mee, but Mooney had the first shot, and then the ball actually cannons off Alex Pritchard and behind. Although from the first angle I saw it from, it did look as if Tom Heaton had saved it, but it hadn't. It came off the ex-Tottenham man who took the original corner. Prediction, which is a tight one, isn't it? I'm going to go 1-0 Clarets. It's not going to be a pretty game, and I would think so for all sorts of reasons. But here's a guy who plays without fear on the left-hand side for Burnley, Dwight McNeil, but his cross was charged down. It wasn't the best cross that Dwight has played, but he gets the ball back again from Taylor. Barnes towards McNeil, brilliant football. McNeil can't find Wood, and it's scrambled away by Schindler, and Burnley came so close, and Chris Wood just needed to be quicker when he stuck out his leg then. Right foot, because Dwight McNeil there, that's the tendency when you play along a young player who plays without fear and plays with a lot of freedom. Dwight McNeil's been a breath of fresh air to that Burnley side, and Sean Dyche really making a statement of intent here by giving him a go, and I think that's good. Here's Barnes now on the break for Burnley, but he's stopped there by Congolo. The ball runs dead, and that's a Burnley throw-in. That's going to be an interesting one now. Jorgensen and Barnes, and here's Cork to hit it forward for Burnley. This is more like it from the men in the dark strip. Barnes now holds it up, can't feed Goodmanson, although Goodmanson just did enough there. Schindler just dawdled on the ball, almost let Barnes in there this time. Ball's loose, a loose ball there from Huddersfield, picked up by Cork, finds McNeil, the fearless McNeil here, and here's Taylor now. Taylor around the corner, Wood holds the ball up. Now Westwood, still 0-0 here, and here's Taylor again. McNeil is up in support on the left hand side, but he has to go back to Ben Mee instead, and then goes back to the goalkeeper, which is a little bit of frustration there for Burnley, because they had a good, I felt they had a good crossing opportunity there perhaps. But here's Heaton with the kick, a long kick, looking towards Barnes, trying to flick the ball on towards Chris Wood. I think that was the intended target of Tom Heaton at the moment. 0-0 is the score, and McNeil wins possession. McNeil turns, and he slipped. Oh, the ball may have gone out of play when McNeil turned. 20 minutes gone, still no score, but both teams have had a couple of chances. Huddersfield's best chance came from a Philip Billing throwing, which caused Munier to fire a shot towards goal, which was hooked away by his own player Pritchard. Barnes has had half a chance for Burnley when he stabbed one wide in the opening the exchanges of the first half, and of course Dwight McNeil pulling the ball back from the left hand side, and Wood just needed to stick out his leg a bit better, right leg a bit better, and it would have been 1-0 Claret. Still no goals here at the John Smiths. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 0 in deepest West Yorkshire, and Huddersfield have possession with Aganash, and he gets the ball back to Lozell. Lozell gets the ball forward, and here's Schindler, the German. Schindler's ball was a poor one, and Gudmundsson's intercepted, and it's 3-on-3 for a second or two. Here's Westwood now. Westwood now to Dwight McNeil. McNeil again, fearless running by McNeil, and he shoots with his left foot and just wide of the left-hand post. And I think Lozell would have had it covered, but the man is this young 19-year-old Dwight McNeil playing with real fearlessness there as he struck his left foot shot just wide of the left hand post, but it was a really good effort from all of about 35 yards. Struck it superbly well. Lozell would have had that covered, I would have thought, but still Burnley just shading in on chances, I would have thought, Russ. Burnley playing their fearless selves again. It's the old Burnley. A couple of people at the end of the game said we've got our old Burnley back, and I feel we're seeing very much shades of that again here tonight. But he just needs to go in for the Clarets. 22 minutes gone, and here come Huddersfield now on the break themselves, but it's me across now for Burnley. Me now, just hook it out for a throw-in, and he's done well. In fact, he's done even better. Got the deflection of the Huddersfield man, and Burnley have got the decision. So well done there to Ben Mee. Fantastic defending, and even better to win the throw-in for Burnley. Halfway through the first half, Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0 here, or Huddersfield 0, Burnley 0. We get it right first time, John. But Burnley just shading it. If you're going to go on chances created, Russ, I would say Burnley. But it's been a little bit even Stevens maybe as far as possession is concerned. Throwing to Burnley on the far side, about 15-20 yards from halfway. I think he's having another good match tonight, Dwight McNeil. I've been really impressed with him so far. Goal clips for every live game that we do in 2019 will be up on the JB Claret YouTube channel Facebook page. And remember, it's allthews.facebook.com/JB Claret if you want to like that particular page. Here's Mbenza up to the far side. A real good football this time. Now Pritchard has it. Dicks the ball into the penalty area, and Tom Eaton was there. Munier was there too, but his header was quite tame. It didn't have any accuracy or any conviction on it. Didn't go too far. Tom Eaton was able to pick up the loose ball and clear away, but Pritchard there putting in another delicious ball there, and Burnley just a little bit on the back foot a little bit there. Well, it came off Tarkowski's arm. The crowd were asking the question, but it was not going to be a penalty. It would have been rather harsh to have been given that decision, I must admit. Another statistic I should bring you up to date now. It's 62 matches now, Premier League games that is, if you exclude the Cup and European games, that Burnley have not been given a penalty. I think they've had the odd penalty in a cup game, and a cup game last season against Leeds, and they had a couple during the European campaign. They had a penalty against Aberdeen, and another penalty against Olympiacos in Athens as well. But that's all the penalties that Burnley have had so far in the last 18-20 months or so. Free kick to Burnley. Foul there by Jorgensen on Barnes. Again, that's going to be a real feature of the game so far, and it's been a bit of a feature of the 25 minutes we've been playing for there. Jorgensen just going across there, and surely one or two Huddersfield players must go in the book. Some of the challenges that Huddersfield have committed have been worse ones than the Ben Mee one that was a half-hearted foul and he got booked for. I just don't understand Mike Dean's geography when he's punishing players, but the aforementioned Mee's forward from the back. Westwood and McNeil over the free kick. Westwood to swing it in left-footed, and Gudmundsson was free on the far side, but the flag had gone up for offside, so they actually played into Huddersfield's trap rather cleverly, I have to say. And Mike Dean, and there's one or two discussions going on here. Mike Dean is moaning about something. Now, I don't know what's gone on here. The Huddersfield players are complaining. I'm wondering what decision he's giving. I'm sure he's giving offside here, but both Burnley and Huddersfield players are absolutely berating Mike Dean. Now, what's been going on here? Ben Mee, well, he only touched the ball back to Lozzo. It wasn't anything sinister. I think they want Ben Mee sent off here. It's ridiculous. It's gamesmanship. Huddersfield are going to try every trick in the book to get Ben Mee sent off. I don't like that from teams. David Wagner should concentrate on his own battles here, not on what Burnley do. He needs his side to start. If they really want to get out of this mess, they're 5 points from safety. They need to stop relying on Mike Dean to make brainless decisions. Here's Ben Mee now for Burnley. 26 and a bit minutes gone. 26 and 3/4 minutes gone, in fact. Ball hooked forward by Mee. It wasn't a good ball from Ben. Really wasn't. And Burnley have conceded the free kick. Charlie Taylor, the offender, on halfway. But what it does do is allow significant dark Burnley shirts to get back and defend the set pieces. And let's just see what's been going on around the country, because there's other games going on at the moment, but we'll keep you abreast of what's going on elsewhere. We'll endeavour to do that when we get a break in play. But here's Pritchard now. Pritchard playing the ball into the penalty area. Ben Mee getting in there. I thought he could have left it to his goalkeeper, I must admit, but Burnley got away with it. And Cork now to get it away for the Clarets. The Clarets game live from the John Smith Stadium. A big game in Burnley season this, and to a certain extent Huddersfield, because they're fighting to survive, but they're 5 points, remember, from safety. And let's have a look at what's been going on in the other games so far. Bournemouth and Watford have been going 13 minutes. That's 0-0, so they've kicked off. Chelsea, Southampton, they're around about 28 minutes now. Same as our game, 0-0. Burnley and Huddersfield you're listening to is 0-0. West Ham Brighton is 0-0. Wolves and Palace 0-0. 14 gone against Newcastle and Manchester United, and they're 0-0 as well. So no goals so far in tonight's Premier League programme. But I have to tell you, the games at Bournemouth and at Newcastle both kicked off at 8 o'clock this evening. The rest of the games that are taking place, the games at Chelsea, here at Huddersfield, the London Stadium and Molineux, all kicked off at 7:45. Right, back to the game here, and I'm just wondering what the old shebang was. No, Ben Mee, no, I'm not sure. I mean, that's not time wasting. He's not kicked the ball away sinisterly. I think that's just Huddersfield's way of gamesmanship. It's a local derby. It's a Transpennine derby. Here's the free kick to Burnley, taken 10 yards on the left hand side and straight to. That's a poor free kick. And Lozzo's ball out wasn't the best either, because intercepted by Phil Bardsley, who's had a good run of form so far, the ex-Stoke and Manchester United man. That's a foul, surely there. The referee's got to start taking some action here against Huddersfield players. About time as well. Shinler deserves to go in the book. He honestly does. He's absolutely failed his man. That was a worse foul than the Ben Mee one earlier on in the game. Took everything in Chris Wood out. And Burnley here have a free kick in a magnificent position here, 25 to 30 yards from goal. Goodmanson and Westwood are two of the three-man committee over this. Goodmanson as well is there too. Could well be a curler. It could be a floater from Westwood. It's set up for a curler. Will it be the left foot of? And it's going to be Westwood to swing it in. Free header! Oh, he's saved by Lozzo from Ben Mee, and then the rebound is saved as well. The flag stayed down as well. Deeney has scored incidentally for Watford at the Vitality. Back here at the John Smiths, Burnley tried to go forward again, but the best chance of the game came to Ben Mee of Burnley. And Jonas Lossell made the great save. Meanwhile, another yellow card has been shown to Burnley, to a Burnley lad. It's the no-nonsense Phil Bardsley. Free kick. Well, Ben Mee broke the offside trap. Should score there. Lozzo made a good save. Diving away to his right, and then Barnes on the rebound tried to turn it in from a very, very acute angle. and wasn't going to beat the Danish goalkeeper from that particular range. Confirmation of the Barnsley booking. It was a professional foul, by the way. No complaints there. Barnsley is not the sort of one to try and complain or dispute a decision unless it's absolutely cast iron against him, or it's been wrongly given against him. Meanwhile, Huddersfield trying to make something of it. The ball comes out to Mounier. Mounier to Pritchard on the right hand side. Now the ball back inside. Billing takes control. Billing to the byline. Still Billing. Good tackle there by Taylor. Had to stay on his feet. Still Billing. He's trying to shake off Taylor. Gets the cross in. Huddersfield corner. Taylor stuck with him like super glue there. This is going to be a dangerous couple of moments here for Burnley. No confidence for the Clarets so far. This is Barnsley's second. Jorgensen forward, so too is Chris Schindler. Burnley got plenty of numbers back here then. This is where Burnley do worry me a little bit from corners. And the free header comes in. Oh! Fantastic defending there, although he could have left it for Tom Eaton. It was Billing with a header, and it's Barnsley gets in front of his goalkeeper. Now that was also risky from the right back coming in there. He could have left that for Tom Eaton, who's actually making the point there. I believe that was a corner really unnecessary conceded there by Phil Bardsley. I really do. Some more trouble here for Burnley here, potentially. And they've gone short here. And it's back to Hogg, who crosses into the penalty area. This time Tom Eaton says, that's mine, let me have it. And he takes possession really well and he tries to get Burnley moving again. This is Westwood now on halfway, and he loses it inside the centre circle. Not much else he could have done with that because he didn't have any options with him and he didn't have much support. This is Mbenza. And Benza with a crossing from the left hand side. Danger, Mounier has scored for Huddersfield Town. Oh no, it's a disastrous moment for Burnley. Steve Mounier scores for Huddersfield. The whole place is erupted, and the team who are bottom of the Premier League are leading by 1-0. And Burnley have conceded yet again, and those missed chances from Barnes, Wood and me could well come home to haunt the Clarets. Westwood lost possession initially. Not much else he could have really done with it, in fairness to him, because he didn't have much support. And then the ball was played to Mbenza, and he was given the whole room to get a cross in, and Charlie Taylor there has to take responsibility. And Ben Mee again! Ben Mee should be watching Mounier like a hawk. Another poor piece of defensive play. He hasn't got a hand on it, couldn't keep it out. That goal, in my opinion, should be down to Ben Mee. Another piece of brainless defending from Ben Mee. Why is he not picking up the man? I will never know. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 0, and in my opinion it's come right against the run of the play. And in terms of chances created, Burnley do not deserve to be behind. But Ben Mee there, all he's got to do is keep tabs on his man, not ball watch. And what does he do? Ball watch again. Ridiculous. Now Burnley must hit back. And it's not often Burnley have to come from behind and win a game. This really puts Burnley back up against it now. This was really an opportunity for them to prove themselves after such a stunning and dominant win on Sunday. All that could be for nothing at the moment. Burnley 1-0 down, and look at Mbenza and number 5 Congolo. They've got a lot of freedom out on the left hand side, and Mbenza now showing off some skills there, but then Huddersfield guilty of giving the ball away now. Burnley must react strongly and hit back straight away. If they can go in at parity, it's not a complete disaster just yet. We're coming up towards the last 10 minutes of the first half. Burnley trailed by 1-0. Steve Mounier the goal scorer. It was a good header from Mounier, to be fair. Had enough pressures on it. Poor Tom Eaton didn't have a prayer, but he's not helped by some stupid defending from Ben Mee. It's just got to be said. You've got to watch your markers. Here's Dwight McNeil. He's certainly been Burnley's best outlet so far. He's still playing without fear. The cross comes in towards Wood. Hooked away. Chris Ward's had chances. Barnes has had a chance. Ben Mee's had the best of the chances, and now he missed the best one of the lot, and now he's culpable for the goal. Here's Cork now for Burnley. Now Ben Mee must make up for his error. Finds Charlie Taylor. Well, you could actually park the blame at both me and Taylor for that. Just a complete mix-up. Here's Bardsley. Bardsley into Cork. Cork now to Goodmanson. Good ball in there towards Wood. Holds it up well. Burnley must not panic. Here's a chance now for Burnley. Bardsley keeps possession, does well, again finds Cork. Burnley keeping possession rather calmly. Westwood now looking for McNeil, and he finds McNeil, who takes it down beautifully on the chest, but he's been penalised for handball. I can't believe that decision. I thought he chested that down. I think Mike Dean's made a very poor decision there. I do honestly think that. 1-0, and I do think Burnley have had the better of things, but it's all well and good having the best chances. If you don't take your chances, you invariably get punished. I didn't honestly think that was a handball there against Dwight McNeil. I felt he chested that down beautifully, but Mike Dean again, as he always does. I don't think any referee worth his salt likes Burnley at the moment, unfortunately. So the only goals have been scored to my knowledge is Troy Deeney for Watford at Bournemouth. And a goal here, unfortunately, it's not gone Burnley's way at the moment. 1-0 to the Clarets trail on the Clarets Game Live. The first live commentary of 2019. And we've got hopefully a big one for you tomorrow as Manchester City playing Liverpool. The Thursday Game Live. As Ben Mee now finds James Tarkowski, who finds Tom Heaton. Got a hand on it, but it wasn't enough. As Burnley now look to hit back. They have to hit back. Westwood to Goodmanson. Goodmanson forward, and that's a good ball now. Now then, can they find Chris Wood? He holds it up well. Brings Bardsley into the game. Bardsley now infield. Huddersfield now have got 2 banks of 4 in front of the Burnley attackers. That's not good news for the Clarets. They have to try and play their way through. They can't just rely on hoofing the thing all the time now. Taylor has it on the left-hand side. Now, can they use a bit of McNeil's trickery? Just to remind you of the Burnley bench: Lowton, Vokes, Brady, Henrik, Hart, Vidra and Long. 1-0 to the Clarets, and it's not turning into a good night for Burnley Football Club at the moment. Away from home. Across the Pennines. It's all well and good backing up a result at the moment. The only saving grace is, even if we did lose, it's not a complete disaster, although it will tighten things up a bit at the bottom end of the table, because Huddersfield then would have momentum, just when Burnley thought they were getting momentum. Here's Ben Mee to hook it forward. Ben Mee partly at fault, I believe, on that Huddersfield goal. Taylor as well has to take some of the blame. Here's Westwood now to Goodmanson. Goodmanson looking to cross the ball or hit it towards the far side, and he finds Taylor here. Taylor now needs to hit a good cross, hits the defender. Might well break here for McNeil. McNeil, a young lad with great trickery and great skills. Ball in, a goal for Burnley! Chris Wood, and it's that man again! Dwight McNeil, who provides the cross from the left-hand side. A good low cross, and in came Wood to score 2 goals in 2 games. And Burnley have reacted in the best possible way to going behind. This is the Burnley we all know and love. Burnley are level. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 1. Chris Wood the scorer. Fantastic move. It all started with Goodmanson playing the ball from right to left flank. Taylor then playing the ball in, finding McNeil. McNeil's first touch was a little bit heavy, but then he worked at Oracle to get past the defender, get the ball in. Wood onside. Came in at the near left-hand post and stabbed it from 6 yards past Lozzo into the net. And Burnley, deservedly in my opinion, are back on terms. It's Huddersfield 1, Burnley 1 and the Clarets match live. Fantastic fight back from Sean Dyche's side. It's 1-1 here. And we've got about 5 minutes of the first half remaining, and it's game on again. 1-1 as Burnley look to go forward once more. We'll take a 10-minute break for half-time, as we usually do on these occasions, and we'll get the ball back to Lozzo. But great moment for the Clarets. Here's Ben Mee now to hook the ball forward. Long ball forward, headed away. Now hit back up in the air with great interest there by Hogg. but Goodmanson beats Hogg in the air on the halfway line. Another Gary Owen up and under. Now McNeil, and McNeil, oh my goodness, he was certainly taken out there. The referee's got to take strong action here. Yellow card. It has to be. Oh, it's a second yellow, he's off. Huddersfield have lost a man. It's Chris Schindler, who has already been booked in the first half. He's gone now in the second. He's gone now 5 minutes from the end, and this really is a game-changing decision from Mr. Mike Dean. Schindler is arguing with the referee. Barnes telling him to get off the field. This is a game-changing moment in the seasons of both Burnley and Huddersfield Town. In the Premier League, Schindler is not going quietly, that is for sure. This is the tackle. Clear professional foul for me on Dwight McNeil. I don't think he's got any cause to complain. He's got a fistful of his shirt. He's almost rugby tackled him here. And in the land where rugby league used to be king here in this Yorkshire town, Schindler has been sent off for 2 bookable offences. And it was a sort of tackle that would not have looked out of place at the Millennium Stadium or Twickenham. But it's got him a red card, a second yellow and a red here. And Burnley have a golden chance now against 10 men. Watford are 2 up at Bournemouth. The other scores, I believe, are goalless. But it's all happening here at the John Smiths, and Burnley here from about 25 yards out left to centre have a great opportunity. Johan Goodmanson could take this. So could Westwood. Will he flow to? Well, it's definitely on for Westwood on his left foot here. We can get this into the back of the net. What a moment it be. Goodmanson, left foot into the midriff of the goalkeeper. It was on target. He got it up and over the wall, but just didn't have the accuracy to test the keeper. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's controversial. The fact is, it was a booking, and he's already been booked, and he had to go. I think it was the correct decision from Mike Dean, and I have to say, Mike Dean has made a good decision. So, in my opinion, Russ, and this is my opinion, and I'm not judging it because I'm a Burnley fan, but I believe that was a decision because he's fouled him. It's a rugby tackle, Russ. It's a rugby tackle. You can't get away with rugby tackles in football. It's just not strictly possible. Well, they're having to make a switch now, Huddersfield, and number 37 Derm is going to have to come off, and Alex Pritchard, who actually was at the hub of most of the good things that Huddersfield produced in the first half, is ironically the man to make way, and he's a bit upset about it, and you can understand why, but he understands that it's just for the cause really, because of they have to bring on a defender to try and shore it up defensively here, Huddersfield, and it's a difficult situation, I'm sure, for David Wagner to be in, but Schindler has made a rub for his own back, in my opinion. The yellow card he got was a brainless one, and the second one was just as bad. Forget about covering defenders for a second. Those in any other circumstances, doesn't matter if they're covering defenders, those 2 challenges that Schindler got done for and booked on both occasions were bookable offences. So, and that's on FIFA regulations. I'm sorry, but if Chris Kamara thinks it's controversial, then I'm Mother Teresa. Anyway, Durham with the throw-in now for Huddersfield. 1-1 is the score at the John Smith Stadium. Burnley deserve to be on parity. They've been the better team in terms of chances created. Huddersfield took the lead from Mounier, but 5 minutes from the end of the first half, back came Burnley. Dwight McNeil at the hub of all the good things that Burnley have been brilliant at, and Chris Woods has knocked in his second goal in 2 games, has given Burnley that hope now, and they will have the momentum going into the break. We're 10 seconds away from the 45 being up, and then we'll be getting Michael Oliver, the 4th official's confirmation of what time will be added on at the end of the first half. He's got the board up as Burnley have possession here on the near side with Tarkowski, and I didn't see how long the stoppage time was, but we are playing 3 added minutes, and there was a little bit of a hold up because of the reluctance of Schindler to leave the field. So Burnley have a chance here to hit another goal right on the stroke of half time as the shot comes in from around about 35 yards, right footed from former Leedsman Taylor, and it's gone into the stand behind Jonas Lozzo's goal and behind for a goal kick. Burnley 1, Huddersfield 1 is the scoreline. Sean Dyche is looking perplexed. There's a perplexed smile on his face, or a perplexed look on his face. So this is really in a melting pot now, as this second half now comes, as the half time comes looming large here at the John Smiths. The kick forward by Lozzle, right footed, flicked on, and here's Taylor to hook it out for a throw in. It is 1-1 here. Huddersfield, remember, down to 10 men. And what a game it has been in the main. It's been an amazing first half here. Burnley trailed, and it looked as if it was going to be sad times ahead for the Clarets, but not on your Nelly, because back came Burnley with the equaliser to make it 1 apiece, and we've got a game with a vengeance. Throw in to Huddersfield. Kachunga wanted a 3 kick, but he wasn't going to get it. We've played a minute and 45 with the 3 added minutes, and Huddersfield have a throw in, and Philip Billing is up behind this one, and we know what he can produce. He's produced 1 or 2 problems with those long throw-ins. This time it's from the right hand side, the far side, as we look here at the John Smiths, as the throw comes in level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area. Wood went to jump, Mounier was in there, so too was Kachunga, but it's hooked away by Ben Mee, who will be one of the most relief Burnley players in the stadium at the moment. Oh, just as I say that, Huddersfield won a header inside the 6-yard, inside the penalty area, and almost got a second goal. Tom Heaton made the save down to his right-hand post. My goodness me, that would have been the commentator's curse and a half there, and it could have happened to my team. Here's Westwood now for the Clarets. 1-1 here on the Clarets game live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. If you missed the game earlier on, if you missed the match earlier, or you want to catch up on it again, we'll be doing commentary highlight snippets on the Facebook page. Don't forget, it's www.facebook.com/JB Claret if you want to like that particular page. Bournemouth have pulled a goal back here after 34 minutes in the game at the Vitality. That incidentally was an 8 o'clock kickoff. We played 3 minutes here at the John Smiths, showing that must be that for the first half. Indeed it is. So plenty of enjoyment, plenty of controversy. So says Chris Kamara. Burnley deserve to be level, if not winning this game. They've been the better team in terms of chances and chances created, and it has been an unbelievable game. Where do you start, really? The first goal came after 33 minutes, cross from the far near side, Benza, nodded in by Steve Mounier. It looked as if it was going to give Huddersfield a half-time interval lead, and then Ward hit back with 5 minutes to go, and then 2 minutes from the end of normal time, Chris Schindler got a red card for a second bookable offence, both of which I have to say were bookable offences, without being harsh on Huddersfield. And it's not just the fact that it's Burnley we're commentating on, and it is my team, but I don't wish to be too biased, but that was the way it was, and both teams now go off at half-time at 1-1, but Burnley now hold a huge psychological and numerical advantage going into the next 45 minutes. Just before we leave you for now, I can tell you that Bournemouth 1, Hartford 2 is a later score. They're 10 minutes just over to go in that one. Same at the moment with Newcastle United. 0-0 though, it's the score up at St James's. That also is an 8 o'clock kickoff. They've only been playing for 31 minutes incidentally. Chelsea Southampton 0-0, that's half time. West Ham and Brighton, that's no goals at half time. And Wolves and Palace, that's also 0-0 at half time. So not many goals gone in, just the 5 so far. 3 in the game at Bournemouth and 2 here in our main commentary feature tonight. Burnley and Huddersfield sharing a 1-1 draw, but Burnley now have a numerical advantage, with Huddersfield, in my opinion, rightfully down to 10 men. We're going to take a 10-minute break here at the John Smiths, and we'll be back for full second half commentary of the best game of 2018, Burnley against Huddersfield Town from the John Smiths. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Warm welcome back to the John Smith Stadium, where Burnley and Huddersfield are sharing a 1-1 scoreline. There's been goals flying in at Bournemouth. Wilson got the equaliser for Bournemouth, that made it 2-2 on 37. Then Seamer put Watford ahead after 38, and then Fraser 2 minutes later making it 3-3. A real goal fest there at the Vitality. Well worth the hold up then, certainly, because we've had an entertaining match between two middle of the road sides. Half-time has just gone at half-time whistle's just gone at St James's Park, where Newcastle and Manchester United are goalless at the moment. But in our match, it's 1-1 here. The Clarets game live. Tomorrow it's Manchester City against Liverpool. Friday it's Tottenham in the FA Cup. Saturday 3 FA Cup games and 2 FA Cup games on Sunday. And what a feast of football we have in store for you in the next sort of 4 or 5 days on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Later tonight we'll have goal clips, sound goal clips of the game. You can hear that on the JB Claret Facebook page, which is at www.facebook.com/JBClaret. Right, we're back underway then in the second half, and no change in any of the two sides, but I will bring you up to date with the team lineups just in case you missed. I think there has been one alteration. So Durham is in now for Huddersfield, so it's Lozo in goal with Durham, Hardegausch and Jorgensen and Gangolo, and then it's Hogg, Billing, Kachungo. Pritchard was the man sacrificed in the substitution, so Mbenza and Mounier complete the lineup. As Burnley go forward here with Ashley Barnes inside the penalty area. Barnes trying to hook the ball back here. There was nobody in a black shirt, a dark Burnley shirt around. It's finished 3-3 at half time between Bournemouth and Watford, incidentally. On the bench for Huddersfield we've got Bakuna, Diagabi, Hamer, De Potra and Stankovic. As Wood tries to close inside the Burnley in the Huddersfield penalty area. Burnley attacking the goal to our left, incidentally, in the second half. So Burnley line up, it's unchanged from the first half. It's Seaton in goal, Barsley, Tarkowski, me and Taylor across the back. Goodman sent Westwood, Cork and McNeil the ball man midfield, and it's Barnes and Wood the goal scorer up front. On the bench for the Clarets, Lowton, Vokes, Brady, Henrik, Joe Hart the goalkeeper, Mattia Vidra and Kevin Long, and of course the referee Mike Dean from the Wirral. And of course Schindler now does not appear for the second half because he was sent off for 2 very bookable offences in the first half. Here's Westwood now on the near side for Burnley, onto Taylor. Burnley going towards the left hand side in the second half, incidentally. Here's Ben Mee now, just trotting towards halfway, looking to pick the perfect long ball towards Ashley Barnes. And Barnes will start chasing that again, and the ball comes dead into touch. And in fact, it's going to be a throw into Burnley. Taylor to take. And we've had 2 minutes just over in the second half. Here's Taylor on the left hand side to Westwood. Westwood knocks the ball back. And here's Tarkowski on halfway line to find Ben Mee again on halfway, but just to the left of the centre circle. Mee now goes forward. Ooh, that's a lot there of McNeil. Give that some hump from the clearance there, Ben Mee. Anyway, here's Jack Cork now for the Clarets, and that's a tackle from behind, and that's surely going to be a free kick to Burnley. Referee just waited to see if there was an advantage played, and he decided it was one. And here's Wood now on the turn. Good turn from Chris Wood in towards Barnes inside the area, a bit isolated, tries to get the ball in, and in fact Barnes has fouled his man according to Mr Dean, and a free kick to Huddersfield, who were down to, of course, to 10 men. Barnes tried to close in there. Good tackle there by Gangolo. It was then fouled. It's a free kick taken by Lozo now with his right foot. 3/4 of the way up the field. Ben Mee got there. Huddersfield player went tumbling, but not illegally according to the referee. Billing juggling with the well, rather number 24, sorry. Mounier was juggling. The ball comes back to Tom Heaton, incidentally. Two teams to started the day in the bottom 3. Burnley in the bottom 3 on terms of goal difference, with Southampton being held to a goalless draw against Chelsea, where Gunners pulled, the standing goalkeepers pulled off some very good saves for Southampton. It's turned into a frustrating night for the Clarets. Unless they can get their noses in front, then they will be out the bottom three, whatever Southampton try and do, unless Southampton nick a win here at over at Chelsea. But at the moment there's no score in that game. On a 7:45 kickoffs. Here's a chance for Huddersfield to get the ball into the area. Billing trying to hook it in. Now Burnley go on the break. Again, they're playing with a man advantage here, Burnley, so every chance in the world for them to try and win the game, but Billing has nicked it away from Wood. It was a little bit static there from Chris Wood. Now there's problems here. The ball in towards the penalty area. Mounier was lurking, but there was 5 Burnley defenders back in dark shirts, and there was more than sufficient cover there to Burnley to clear any danger. Here's Westwood now on the break. I think the referee's played an advantage. There was a foul there. Gudmundsson on the right hand side. The far side as we look. Gudmundsson cuts back inside. Westwood is the outlet. Westwood now turning. Back to Gudmundsson again. Bardsley makes a good forward run here. Not the quickest of players, Phil Bardsley, but he's done well. He's yielded a throw in for it. Level with the edge of the Huddersfield area. So Burnley still have a chance. 5 minutes of the second half played at the John Smiths. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 1 is the scoreline. In a non-stop frills and spills game here at the bottom of the Premier League table. And here comes Westwood to me, who's got it by the centre spot now. And he finds Cork to the left of him. Cork on the left hand side. Finds Dwight McNeil. Has been a revelation today, and he's absolutely whipped his man for pace. Another decent cross and a corner it is. Dwight McNeil again, showing why he's a very fearless young 19-year-old, running past his man on the left hand side. This man, when when he gets started, there's no stopping him. And the performances when he started against Manchester United and Olympiacos and on Sunday were exceptional, and he's been exceptional here tonight. First corner for the Clarets, incidentally. Huddersfield have already had 3. Westwood to swing it into the far post, and has that gone in? No, it hasn't. There was a header coming in at the back post. It might have been Chris Wood again. I thought he might have got his second goal then of the contest. Just for one moment I thought he had. The ball came up towards the far post. It just hits the side netting. Hard to tell from the angle we saw it from initially, but he won the ball. Lozzo was nowhere near the ball, and Burnley have missed a golden chance to take the lead. Huddersfield get away with a goal kick, which their fans will be quite relieved about. Burnley, our team, certainly, you look at the way the game's gone, they've got to be the team, they've got to be firm favourites to win the game now, if you were a betting man. Here's Tom Heaton now, the Burnley skipper. Just rolls the ball out to the edge of the area, about 10 yards outside his penalty area, and hooks the ball forward. Looked a bit of shirt pulling there on the far side, and that should be a Burnley ball there. Should be a free kick, in fact. The Burnley have been given a throw in instead. Clarets game live from the John Smith Stadium. Here's McNeil for Burnley. McNeil turns. Good turn from him. On towards Taylor, who's offside. And a free kick being given against Charlie Taylor. Linesman on the far side. The green, that was off there. I'm just looking at a replay. Oh, he's level there. I think he's level. I think he's very unlucky there, Charlie Taylor. I've got to be honest, I think that was a very, very hasty call from the official. He was very, very quick to put the flag up. Burnley 1, Huddersfield 1 here at the John Smiths. The Clarets game live from West Yorkshire. And here is Mounier, or Billing rather. Billing has it. And now a chance here for Huddersfield to get the ball forward. Durham to Billing, crossing there low, and Mounier was waiting, but a good tackle there. A really good play there from Burnley, just hooking it out for a 4th Huddersfield corner. Mounier was charging in there, and Jack Cork, I think, was the man who got back and denied him that opportunity. Indeed it was. Good tackle there from Cork. Really well there, the former Swansea and Southampton man. Started his career off at Chelsea, believe it or not. This is his second spell at Burnley. He had a couple of loan spells some 9-10 years ago when it was Brian Laws the manager. As the header comes in, Huddersfield fervently appeal for a penalty which has not been given. They felt there was a hand in there. I'd have to check the replay because the corner came in rather quickly. Huddersfield trying to reload in from the right hand side, but it's knocked away again. And now a chance here for Barnes on the break, and look at McNeil making a good run, and it's Dwight McNeil. The ball just coming to him a little bit closer, and it's Goodmanson. Goodmanson shoots straight at Lozelle, and fielded by the goalkeeper. Huddersfield felt they should have had a penalty there. It was Goodmanson rather than McNeil making the break. Then Barnes back towards Goodmanson again, driven a little bit wide there by Barnes' pass, but still they appealed a penalty here. No, not for me. Arms were down. Excuse me, arms were down by the side, so it had to be given as ball to hand. 10 minutes of the second half played. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 1. McNeil has it for Burnley. This has been a real rip-roaring second half at the moment. No change in any of the scores from elsewhere. Newcastle and Bournemouth games are level, but are one's goalless and one's got a 6-goal thriller in it. It's a stark contrast to our 2 8 o'clock games. But here comes Kongoa now, and Mbenza now for Huddersfield. Mbenza shoots. Brighton have scored through Dale Stevens against West Ham. So it's West Ham 0, Brighton of Albion 1. Bardsley in for Burnley, and a throw in to Huddersfield. Bardsley is injured. They do have Matt Lowton on the field, on the bench should they need him. And I don't know what that meant to be there, but we've got an injury here. Bill Bardsley, and a stoppage in play. Bardsley coming in very strongly, just collides with the player. I don't think it's anything sinister. Bardsley's a very tough cookie. He doesn't stay down for nothing. He's that sort of a character. Chundai showing a little bit of concern, and the stretch is coming out, and so I'm seeing. And well, there's a lot of concern here for Burnley. Bardsley's not the sort of man to stay down easily, and this is a slight concern here, so there's going to be at least a bit of stoppage time at the end of this game here tonight. Bardsley's up on his feet, so there might not be a need for the stretcher, but there might be a need here for Matt Lowton to come into the game here. Burnley forced into a defensive change, and Bardsley is not the sort to make a fuss a bit, but Ali Beattie thinks it's sufficient enough for it's 2-0 to Brighton. Although Russ has said Burnley, Duffy has scored for Brighton, so Burnley haven't scored yet. It's Shane Duffy has for Brighton, but so let's just clear that one up. West Ham 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. Lowton is going to come on in a second. Bardsley wants to come back on. The competitor he is, and a foul there on a Burnley player. Free kick to Brighton. I nearly said Brighton. Then Burnley. Philip Billing now is gone down injured, and we're having a little bit of a casualty scene here at the John Smiths. We first had Bardsley down injured, and now we've got Philip Billing down on the floor. Billing, to his credit though, is getting back onto his feet, and back on again. Typo, mate. We'll let you off, Russ. Our statsman can have off days, but he's a very good commentator as well. A man of many talents is our Russ, and he's been fantastic with the latest scores there. But with 2 quick-fire goals for Brighton, then 2-0, and Duffy, and I'm forgetting who got the other one. He's also got a cold at the moment. Well, hopefully he'll be in good fettle for some FA Cup action on at the weekend. Meanwhile, Burnley have made a substitution. Barnsley has now come off, and Matt Lowton is now on, and it's a free kick to Burnley, which Tom Heaton will take from the left hand side of the 6-yard box. Huddersfield win possession 10 yards from halfway inside their own half, and the ball is out now towards number 5 here, towards Gongola, and then the ball's been given away back to Tom Heaton once again. Well, we've got 32 minutes. Duffy and Stevens for Brighton. Stevens got the first. Yes, quite. You're on the ball there, Russ. I wasn't. We all make mistakes. Anyway, here's Ben Mee now, who made a colossal mistake on the first goal, along with Charlie Taylor, by letting Mounier walk through between the pair of them. But they'll be very relieved that Dwight McNeil's got his crossing boots on and Chris Wood had his shooting boots on, because their combination led to the equalising goal here, which has got the game at 1-1. But it's a game that Burnley could do with taking 3 points from, to really put pressure on Southampton, who are still holding Chelsea, believe it or not, at Stamford Bridge. A lot of people will have put their predictions in and thought this was an easy home banker for Chelsea, but not at the moment. Here's McNeil now for Burnley. McNeil down the left hand side. This guy is a fearless competitor, and he's kept the ball in by the byline and still has possession. Oh, and he made a chance out of nothing there, almost for Ashley Barnes, and in the end Kongolo just got a foot inside that penalty area. If he hadn't, then it was 2-1 Burnley for absolutely sure. But Burnley now starting to turn up the power a little bit. Here's Wood now flicking in on Goodmanson, might get there first, but Kongola just beats him to the punch. It's a throw into Burnley, almost well, basically now halfway inside the Huddersfield half. Burnley really going for the cutthroat here. We've played over an hour. Here's Westwood. Westwood now round the corner. Goodmanson keeps possession very, very well. Now brings Jack Cork into the game. Cork now up towards Tarkowski. Tarkowski now forward it goes. Goodmanson loses the ball, and then the ball is fed back to Lozell. 1-1 is the score. No push on Philip Billing, says referee Mr. Mike Dean. Here goes Charlie Taylor now, infield to Westwood, to McNeil, and McNeil plays a lovely ball, and he's perfectly waiting into the path of Taylor. Taylor needs to measure up a good crossing, he does. They appeal for handball, I think. Burnley. Goodmanson came in with a header. I felt Huddersfield Town player's gone down. If he's blocked it with his face, then it's a break block. I don't think there was much appeal to handball. I did actually thought at first it was a handball, and it's I think it might have been Jorgensen who's gone down in a heat. No, it's not. It's number 37 Durham, the substitute. From the last 10 minutes or so of this match, it's been a bit of a casualty scene. We've had Billing down, we've had Bardsley stretched off injured, or taken off injured, and now we've got Durham, who came on as a substitute at the end of the first half, and now he's in the wars. But Dwight McNeil again showing why he's a very highly rated player, and in fact I'm just going to determine whether this was handball against Durham or not, because Goodmanson heads it against him. No, it's actually hit him in the face, to be fair, so I don't think the referee was in any position to give the penalty anyway, because it clearly hits him clearly in the side of the right hand side of his face. So I don't think there was much cause for the referee to do anything else other than give a Burnley throw in. But Durham is still flat out on the ground here. I don't think he's milking it in any shape or form, but he is up on his feet, unless he's falling awkwardly. Robbie Brady about to come on for the Clarets. And, well, that's an odd one, because Dwight McNeil has been playing really well, and I felt he should be on the field. I'm very surprised that Sean Dyche has made that substitution, because I don't think McNeil deserves that. I think McNeil should have played on. Robbie Brady's still a good player to have on your side, but McNeil, for his fearlessness, has really performed magnificently, and I felt he should have been given another. I think he should have been given another 10 minutes there by Sean, but Sean's the manager. He's paid to make the decisions. As Durham is up on his feet, I'm pleased to tell you, to all football fans out there. It's never nice to see a player stricken, whether it's Burnley or the opposition, and good to see Durham on his feet, and hopefully now it's all cleared up now, and it should be a throw into Burnley. This, I think he's going to give a drop ball. Durham is ready to come back, and he's given a drop ball, the referee. It should have been a Burnley throw in, but never mind. We've got 63 minutes. Burnley have made a second substitution, so Brady on for McNeil, which I thought was a little bit of an odd one, but Sean Dyche is there. He's the manager. He's paid to make the decisions and the substitutions. And with McNeil's pace, I felt it was a very odd decision to take him off the field. But Brady still possesses quality, and he's got a chance here to really put pressure on McNeil, who's coming to the side and done magnificently well. Here's Westwood now to Lawton, who's just come on as a substitute. Here's Ben Mee now inside the centre circle, over the halfway line of Jack Cork. 64 gone. Burnley 1, Huddersfield 1 at the John Smith Stadium. No scores. It's 3-3 between Bournemouth and Watford, 0-0 in the game at Newcastle, 2-0 to Brighton at the London Stadium. It looks as if West Ham could be on for another defeat. It would be their second defeat in 2 games, I think. And Brighton do tend to do well at the London Stadium. They won there last season. Here's Charlie Taylor now to hook a ball into the penalty area, headed out by Huddersfield defenders. And here comes Cork again. Here's Taylor to Brady on the left hand channel for Burnley. Brady opens up room for a decent looking cross, but it's headed away. Huddersfield it was a decent enough cross, it just didn't have the accuracy to really test the Huddersfield back line. Here's Brady again, gets it to Cork, back to Brady. Brady turns, pirouettes, and tries to go past a couple of players. Taylor in there, and he hasn't kept it in, or is he giving a free kick? I think he's given a free kick here against number 9 Kachunga. And a chance here for Burnley. Now, as disappointed as I was to see McNeil come off, Robbie Brady, what he gives you is set piece paralysis, and this man can whip a ball in from a dead ball any kind of way. West Ham have pulled a goal back incidentally against Brighton. Marko Arnautovic has scored with 25 to go there. It's still 0-0 at Chelsea and 0-0 elsewhere. Other than the games I've mentioned have been goals in. So a free kick to Burnley. Brady will whip it in with his left foot, and it's a good whip ball in, and the goalkeeper just got there, and Goodmanson tries to shoot. Goodmanson, oh, he just narrowly missed the post. He miskicked it originally with his left foot, and then he had another go, and he just drifted it wide of the left hand post. Wasn't a good punch away by Lotto, but it just needed to go the other side. It just narrowly missed the angle of post and bar by millimetres, and unfortunately just went the wrong side for Burnley. But they're on top. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 1. Huddersfield, remember, playing with 10 men. Schindler sent off after 42 minutes with 2 clear bookable offences. And I'm sticking with that theory despite what Chris Kamara might say. Here's Mee to win the next ball, and he's done so magnificently. Still 1-1 here at the John Smiths, Huddersfield and Burnley. If you joined us late, Mounier put Huddersfield in front after 33 minutes. 6 minutes later, Ward equalised from a low cross from the left hand side from Dwight McNeil from the byline as he pulled the ball back. And then Schindler was sent off for 2 bookable offences in the 42nd minute. Burnley have missed a couple of golden opportunities as well through Ben Mee. Ashley Barnes has missed a couple of chances, and Gudmundson's just put one wide for Burnley. And also Barnes has had to come off, and of course for injury. 2-2 now, and Arnautovic has got a quick fire double. It's a night for quick fire goals at the London Stadium. 2 apiece there, 1 apiece here as Taylor crosses in from the left hand side. Lozo takes the ball comfortably on the edge of his 6-yard box. So Brighton scored 2 quick fire goals to go 2 ahead, and now West Ham have scored 2 quick fire ones themselves to level the scores. And Arnautovic has got 2 now. Made his first appearance back from injury on Sunday against Burnley. Didn't really perform as well as he would have liked on the day, but even so, it's all hands on deck here. 68 minutes now gone. We're halfway through the second period. Burnley very close now. They're playing against 10 men, don't forget that. So remember, just to remind you, in case you come in late from the pub or from an evening out or from work, if you've been working late on at the office or whatever, as Terry the Tiger and his female mascot sit down in very glum moods. And just to remind anyone who's coming in from the office, or just to rewind for a second, because we're back with the action as the ball's threaded through. Here's a chance now for Brady. Brady shoots towards the left hand side of the post, the near post, and Lozo had to fumbled that. He fumbled the shot, and in the end he had a covering defender to help him out. Burnley have a throw and they've taken it quickly on the left hand side. Here's Cork now to get it towards the right hand channel, and here is Tarkowski having a little canter forward here. Tarkowski with a decent looking cross, but he couldn't find his man. Durham got it away. Burnley still laying siege to that Huddersfield goal. Burnley intercepted as it looked as if Mounier was going to break away for Huddersfield. 1-1 is the score. We've got just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go. We're halfway through the second half here. Ball laid back to Lozel, who kicks away, and Tarkowski with a back header which falls to Mounier, but to be fair to James Tarkowski, he intercepted the ball. It was a poor first touch by the Huddersfield's goal scorer, and he was able to knock the ball back to Ben Mee. So just in case you've come home late from the pub or from the office or from a night out at the theatre or something like that, let me just remind you what's happened here at the John Smiths. Huddersfield took the lead after 33 minutes through Steve Mounier. 6 minutes later, Chris Wood equalised for Burnley, but Schindler has been sent off for Huddersfield for 2 clear bookable offences after 42 minutes, and Huddersfield and Bardsley has been stretched off for Burnley as Grady knocked the ball in, and Wood tried to flick it in on the up, and all he could do was flick it up from 6 yards over the crossbar. It would have been a very difficult skill to volley and flick it in from 6 yards. It was a very difficult chance, and he could do nothing else. But a decent opportunity, maybe a half chance there for Burnley there, as Chris Wood tried to flick it goalwards, but there was just not enough. I don't think there was enough. It was just too close in, I would have thought, to get there. As Durham is now having a word, having recovered from his painful moment where the ball hit him clean in the face. And in fact, a substitution has been made for Huddersfield, and in fact it's Haddington who's been substituted, and it's Lovera now who's on, as David Wagner now has played. I think that's his second substitution, if I'm right in saying so. Both sides have made two substitutions each, and that's another defensive change here as Huddersfield look to protect a 1-1 score. Remember, they're playing with a man disadvantage here. We're inside the last 20 minutes. 19 and a half to go. Here's Burnley now on the break here with Westwood, who's had a decent game again tonight, I have to say. Cork does well, stays on his feet, did go down, but the referee wasn't interested. And here goes Kachunga now, and Benza now has switched to the left hand side, and Benza now with a deep an early cross comes to Billing, and Brady just nipped in, said thank you very much, I'll take possession, thank you very much, good night nurse. Here's Westwood to get it away for Burnley. Here's Brady, Barnes and Wood up ahead, and then they're going to try desperately to stay on side, and they have done here with Ashley Barnes. Referee's played an advantage here because there was a foul here on Brady, and I'm sure he's got to pull it back for a booking. And it's as Westwood takes possession, finds Cork, plays it out to the far side, knocked away once again. Barnes has scored for Burnley. Burnley are 2-1 up. Barnes playing the ball in, and Burnley go in front. What a comeback. The flag stayed down. Barnes put it away with his right foot. And Burnley are back in front. It's 2-1. The ball was laid in. Chris Wood laying the ball in. Then Westwood had a peep, and then Barnes stayed on side, stuck it under Ozil. And it's 2-1 here at the John Smith Stadium. What a great moment this is. Look at that, great finish. Into the net it goes. It's Huddersfield 1, Burnley 2. Ashley Barnes with the goal. What about that? Apologies for the sound again. We lost sound for a second or two, so we are back live with you now. But I can tell you that we did catch the goal and Ashley Barnes has scored. And now Burnley have just got to hold on for a quarter of an hour. And what a big moment that is. I do apologise. It's just the way things are sometimes. As the ball is laid back to Tom Heaton. What a fantastic performance. What a comeback by the Clarets. It's been an amazing turnaround of events. And Brady now down the left hand side, and Ashley Barnes, that's his 4th league goal I make it this season. This has been a fantastic fight back, and what a performance it has been. Burnley on the cusp of a victory if they can hold on here now. Remember, playing against 10 men, Schindler was booked on 42 minutes. Here's Burnley now for Huddersfield. He's got a player on the far near side here, and it's number 18 in Benza. Gets the ball in, but it's headed away. What a big moment in both Huddersfield and Burnley seasons this could prove to be. Ashley Barnes. Here's Mounier to get it away to get it forward for Huddersfield. His goal looked as if it was going to give Huddersfield a decisive performance. Here's Mounier now. Durham now, turning nicely, and Durham now to the right hand side. Cross came in, it's tucked away by the goal scorer Barnes. We're with you until about 25 to 10 this evening. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 2. Burnley on for 3 crucial points here. As Wood tackles with the ball and concedes the throw in and doesn't want to give the ball back. Mounier's lashing out here. Yellow card for Chris Wood for holding on to the ball, I think, a fraction too long. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 2. I do apologise about the sound. At least we got the sound back for the goal, scored by Ashley Barnes. Remember, if you've missed any of the action on the JB Claret Facebook page, we'll have commentary highlights, 5 to 6 minute commentary highlights with everything, with all the key incidents, the 3 goals and the sendings off and this, that and the other. And of course that will be up later on tonight at www.facebook.com/JB Claret. That's the Facebook companion page for the JB Clark YouTube channel. Here's Chris Wood now on the break. Burnley goal in search of a third. There's been a goal at Newcastle, which we'll tell you about in a second. Here's Robbie Brady now to the left of the penalty area. Brady tries to curl it, gets a deflection, but it's gone off a defender. I thought it was a corner, but the referee, Mr. Dean, has given a goal kick. 11 to play, 2 on there. 64 gone at St James's, and Lukaku has scored for Manchester United. So Newcastle 0, Manchester United 1, and that's another good result for Burnley as things stand, because we would then go a point behind the Magpies in the table as things stand, Will. So a win today will take us to 18 points, so we'd go level on points with Newcastle and Cardiff. We haven't had any goals scored at Chelsea yet, so we're banking on Chelsea scoring a goal as well in their game. And if they're going to do it, they've got about 10 minutes to do it. So 2-1. As the long ball comes forward now, as we go towards the final 10 minutes of the game. And here come Burnley now. Well, that looked a foul there on the far side, and they've been given as a Burnley throw-in. Martin did look as if he was fouled there. We're inside the final 10 minutes of this intriguing encounter. A Trans-Pennine derby, which more than Lancashire Yorkshire bragging rights at stake here. 3 points that could give both these teams a real boost as they both attempt to stave off relegation at the bottom of the Premier League table. (2-1) to Huddersfield, 2-1 to Burnley, sorry. And there's a foul on Tarkowski. 9 to play. Burnley leading by 2-1. Crystal Palace have scored through Ayew after 83 minutes. Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 1. Bit of a turn up there at the moment at Molineux. So Palace are winning, and they looked as if they were being dragged back into it after a couple of indifferent results, but then they're now winning now all of a sudden. But Burnley are on course for 3 here if they can hold on for the remaining 8 minutes plus any stoppage time. Tarkowski trying to hold it up in the corner. Sure, he was fouled there by Billing, and well, it's a corner to Huddersfield, but it looked a clear foul there by Billing. I'm sorry, Mike Dean, but you got that decision completely and utterly wrong. It could be a game-changing decision, that refereeing decision there. I felt that was a foul on Tarkowski. 2-1, and they're going to make a change here. Huddersfield, their final throw of the dice. The substitute has been substituted. They had to sacrifice a centre-back, a defender, to get a big man on. And it's Lauren de Potra who's about to enter the fray as Huddersfield look to snatch a point, an undeserved point, from this game. Corner comes in from the far side. Into the area it goes, and away by Jack Cork. And Burnley now look to try and hold on to this lead. 2-1 they lead. The ball played in there, and the ball out of play and behind for a goal kick. Well, the goal scorers, just to remind you, Mounier for Huddersfield, who put them ahead. I've said this a million times, but I'll say it many times again. And then Wood hit back with the equaliser just on the stroke of half time. Schindler was sent off before the break as well. And then Ashley Barnes making it 2-1 at the moment. So all Burnley have to do now is hold out. Significantly, there's not been a goal scored in the game at Southampton, but as things stand, happily they're going into the bottom 3. Heaton taking his time with the kick, but he's entitled to do that. His team are 2-1 up, and he's not going to give the opposition too much advantage. Not as if they've got any advantage to start with. And it's all getting a little bit spicy and scrappy out there now. Wood goes in there, but the ball breaks to the far side. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 2. Wood and Barnes in there to intercept. Barnes and Wood. And now Taylor now for the Clarets. Brady stays on side. Brady turns. Nice turn, but he has to go back to Ben Mee, who'll be an absolute... He'll be believed that his team have made up for his earlier error in letting Mounier score the opening goal for Huddersfield. Flag was up in fact for offs, the ball was out in fact for a throw-in. So 6 plus 5.5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. And I've got a funny feeling it's going to be 4 minutes at least. Here's Taylor now midway inside his own half for Burnley. 2-1 they lead against Huddersfield, and Taylor past Jonathan Hogg. Did really well there, the left back for Burnley. Finds Brady. Can Burnley hang on in there, win the game and get out of that bottom three? Here's Ben Mee. Mee into the centre circle and Westwood lurking there. 6-5 to play now, plus stoppage time. Westwood round the corner looking for Ashley Barnes. It'll break possibly for Goodmanson, but Billing was there first for Huddersfield. What a potentially game winning goal that could be from Ashley Barnes if they do end up winning the game. It's been a fantastic performance from Burnley to come from a goal down. They have played out of their skins and they find themselves in that position where they could take maximum points. 2 wins out of 2. Barnsley to come on Saturday in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and of course then the next home game they've got another relegation rival in Fulham, as the ball is sucked in towards the penalty area. There's a player gone down injured. Burnley so close now to 3 crucial points, which would really give them real heart now at the bottom of the table. Get them out of that bottom 3 as things stand. It's been an interesting performance. They've actually won a corner in fact. 4 to play. Plus stoppage time. Goodmanson to take the corner and he's in no hurry to take it. Just 3 Burnley players inside that penalty area. It's taken short back to Goodmanson. Now to Cork. Cork down to Lowton. Back to Goodmanson here. Goodmanson, the Iceland man, whips it in towards Ben Mee, who won the header. They appeal hands and no penalty. Well, they're not going to get anything, Burnley. Since when did we ever get penalties in this league? 62 league games without a Premier League penalty for the Clarets. It's getting ridiculous now. Did Jorgensen handle the ball? Yes, he did, and his arm was up. That had to be a penalty. I feel the referee's not given Burnley a penalty there. Poor from the referee once again, but Burnley are still winning, and that's the important thing. As Brady now runs down the side, but he's fouled his man Kachunga, and it's a 3 kick. Burnley just 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time away from victory. Lozo with the kick for Huddersfield. The attempts statistics will 15 to Burnley, 7 on target and 2 goals. Huddersfield have had 2 on target out of 7 shots attempted, as Wood tries to go down the blind side, but Kachunga was there. It looks as if that goal midway through the second half from Ashley Barnes looks as if it's going to be the winning goal. Charlie Taylor to take the throw in, and he's taken a while, which he's entitled to do because Burnley are 2-1 up and they don't want to rush things too much. Referee Mike Dean. Well, if that penalty had been given, it would have given Burnley a chance, but Burnley would move up to the dizzy heights of 16th. So they move 2 places above. So this really will be an important moment in the season for Burnley. Psychologically, to get out that bottom 3 will be a huge blow for them to hit back at. It's been a marvellous performance. (2-1) to the Clarets. An amazing performance. And here's Barnes, and into the air it goes. Barnes! Oh, he couldn't stick it past Lozol. And that might have just been game, set and match then, as he went straight through. But now here come Huddersfield now. And Cork brings down, Brady brings down, oh, and it Benza's head-butted Brady. Surely, and Benza's got to go off for an elbow. The referee's digging towards his back pocket. It's a red. And Benza has to go for retaliating. Brady will probably get booked, or he sent off Brady here. Has he sent off Brady? He sent off Brady. Well, I find that amazing. If he sent off Brady, then that's an absolutely poor decision from Mr. Dean. I didn't think it was a red card offence. Certainly a yellow card. And if he sent off Brady, then I think it's a case of my mistaken identity here. Mike Dean has lost control completely of this match. And tempers are frayed. Huddersfield have done what they've wanted to do. Get a Burnley player sent off. This is disgraceful from Huddersfield Town, and I do honestly think, well, Brady's been sent off. I don't understand why. Well, it is controversial. Look, I mean, he's mistimed the tackle. It's a yellow card at best. But I think Benza should be off for an headbutt. Well, that's what I initially thought. I don't think it's a red card. If it's a straight red, then it's a disgraceful decision. And I think Huddersfield have got away with that. Stupid decision from Mike Dean, who's completely lost control. He was refereeing it okay. The first red card, no arguments. Second, plenty. And I think Burnley must appeal that decision. But what it does do is give Huddersfield Town a chance now against 10 against 10 now. That's a disgraceful decision from Mr. Dean, who once again, as he always does when he referees a football match, tries to write his name over it. We've played a minute and 16 over the 5, and the free kick comes in, and it's wide from Billing, thankfully. Well, I still can't quite get my head around why it was a red card offence. It wasn't a serious foul. It was a hack. It was a professional foul. It's a yellow card at best. If that's what the video printer thinks, I'm Mother Teresa. Jeff Henrik is going to come on and show things up at the back. Burnley still winning. That's the important thing. But I think Burnley should appeal that red card. Whereas Huddersfield can't obviously appeal 2 yellows. Here's Barnes coming off now. 2 of the 5 minutes have elapsed. 3 to go. And Huddersfield don't deserve to be in this game. And Burnley are taking their time over this. And he's not going to book Heaton for. This referee. Oh, Mike Dean, you're an absolute disgrace. Disgraceful refereeing this. He's completely and utterly lost control of this match. One of the worst decisions I think I've seen in the last couple of minutes. 1 red card deserved, 1 not deserved. Not able to kick it away for Huddersfield, but if they were to equalise now, it would be a disgrace to the game of football. An absolute disgrace to the game of football. Mike Dean, as the ball is laid in, surely Huddersfield can't equalise from here now. It's the ball up forward now. Milijevic has scored for Palace, so they've won at Wolves now with 5 minutes of stoppage time played there at Molineux. Defeat for Wolves tonight, but at the moment Burnley are on the cusp of victory, as Gudmundsson now has the ball on the left hand side. Gudmundsson, it was a penalty from Milijevic, and Huddersfield took 3 of them out there. Surely they have to be penalised. With 3 players onto 1, and that doesn't go for me. Burnley get the throw in, and they've just got 90 seconds or less now to hang out and win the game and see about the victory. A victory which has been hard fought but very much deserved on the balance of play. Rashford has scored with 10 minutes to go in the game at St James's Park. Goal kick has been given. I thought that was a corner there, but it's been given in the favour of Burnley. 1 minute under to go now. The referee must blow after this now, surely. And Burnley just took it forward, and again it just wastes a few more seconds. West Ham and Brighton's a full-time result. Share of the points at the London Stadium. At the moment, Burnley are going away back over the border to Lancashire with 3 crucial points. Palace have won at Wolves 2-0. 0-0 still at Chelsea, which is still going on at the moment, I believe. Huddersfield looking to fight back, but Lowton now has possession. 20 seconds Burnley away from a maximum 6 out of 6 from 2 big games against West Ham and Huddersfield. And who would have predicted that on Boxing Day when they were humiliated 5-1 against Everton? Tarkowski hacking it away as far up as he can, and he hooks it out for a throw-in. Billy No will take it. No, he doesn't let Billy take it. We've played the 5 minutes now. Surely Mike Dean has got to blow up at this point in time. Tarkowski knocks the ball away. Chelsea Southampton's finished goalless. Disappointment there for the Chelsea. Billing has a long throw in there. We've played cleanly well over the time added on. Surely now the referee's got to blow after this. We've played 5 minutes. There can't be much else to say now as the throw is hoisted into the area. And the ball is hooked away by Gudmundsson. And Lozell's out of his goal. And the ball hooked back into the danger zone once again by Huddersfield. But Burnley steering it away now through the centre circle. Lozell is back in his goal, incidentally. And what's the referee giving here? I think he's given a free kick to Burnley. And surely now it must be time added on. We've played over a minute now almost. The time added on. Surely now the referee's got to blow. And my voice is almost broke. It's all hands on deck here. I wonder what he's given here. He's given a free kick to Burnley. Ball back with Heaton. Just hoover it up the field, Tom, if you can. He has done. And the referee's still playing on here. Surely he has to blow him at some point. We're playing 1 minute and 20 over 5. Surely it must be time now. Surely. Lozell kicks away. And there is the whistle. Burnley have won it. My goodness, they had to work for it, but not for 6 points from their last 2 games. Just when they needed it most, they move up to 16th in the table. But my word, what a game of controversy. Burnley win it by 2-1. Showing Meunier put Huddersfield ahead after 34. 6 minutes later, the equaliser from Chris Wood after Dwight McNeil had put a lovely low ball in from the far side. Then Barnes, with 20 minutes to go, won the game. There was 2 sendings off, 1 for 2 bookable offences by Chris Schindler, 1 for Robbie Brady, which actually looked on the... I don't understand why Mike Dean gave a red, but take all that. Burnley were deserved winners on the balance of play and on the chances created. What a result. 16th place, and the only... I think if it is a 1-match ban, he'll miss the game now against Barnsley in the Cup on Saturday, but still, what a performance. Huddersfield 1, Burnley 2, it's finished here. Fantastic result. We've got to leave you for now. West Ham Brighton ended 2-2. Wolves Palace 2-0. 3 in the game at Bournemouth, still 2-0 to Manchester United. Chelsea Southampton finished goalless, but the big story here tonight is Burnley have done it. They've beaten Huddersfield by 2-1. From me, JB, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.